Hey everybody, Ethan with Haybuck Outdoors. Today we're going to be looking at and seeing if this $25 survival knife is worth the money. Stay tuned. Before we get too far in the video, please do me a huge favor and subscribe if you have not already. Like, share, and comment too. Helps us promote the channel in the algorithm, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you. So this is the Flissa D2 survival knife, if you want to call it that. It's a Chinese made, so it's import. Little D2 blade with micarta handle scales. I thought it was an interesting combination for a full tang knife for right around the $25–$30 price point. So let's dive on in and see how it performs. Something that I immediately noticed with this D2 style blade is just look how thick it is. Now for 25 bucks, getting a stock thickness like that is pretty unusual. You typically only see that in a more expensive price point. I'd say that's bigger than an eighth, probably in like the 3/16 area. So we're gonna start with cutting some paracord. Words are tough this morning when you don't have enough coffee. Pretty simple. Now it does have a Scandi grind on there. I don't know if that's a 0-degree Scandi or not, but it is getting the job done rather simply, not getting caught up. I'm literally just like touching it and it's cutting right through. So paracord test 1 passed. Let's move on. We're gonna try cardboard now. With the thicker stock thickness on there, I am a little concerned about how slicey it's gonna be, but that Scandi grind typically is a lot better for being slicier and these type of things. So just take a look. Okay, not too bad. It's actually able to shave really good. Look at that. That is just wicked, honestly. For a $25 knife, that's crazy. Yeah, honestly, it's got the finesse to be able to do some of the finer work too, which I'm surprised about. Sweet. Let's move on to another test. Before we move on to that next test, though, I want to take a look at the sheath and just the overall construction of the knife. So you have like a basic leather sheath. I don't think it's actual leather. I think it's fake. Not too sure, though. Have to check the website. Finding info on this guy is a little bit difficult. It's newer onto the market. It's Chinese built, so you know how that goes. You do have a nice drainage hole, though. Decent belt loop. I did carry this hiking up here about, a little under half a mile, so obviously it needs to be broken in some more. But pretty flexible. Not too bad. You just have a basic clasp there. Open it up. Pull the knife out. I will say I'm a fan of the full tang construction. For 25 bucks, you can't beat it. It does come in wood G10 and micarta handle scales. I opted for the micarta personally. I just honestly prefer that, and I think the green handle looks pretty sick. You do have some hex keys there to hold the side panels on, and if you obviously wanted to do some work with I don't know, your own G10, if you have like a 3D printer or like make your own wood handles, that'd be great. And you do have a couple of lanyard holes, as you can see there, one in the front, which I've never really seen before. I think that's kind of neat, and one in the rear. Now I think this guy weighs in just over 6 ounces, 9-inch overall length, which is pretty cool. Let's see if it'll throw some sparks. All right, who wants to see me set California on fire? I'm just kidding. We've actually had plenty of rain, so I'm not too worried about doing this. Honestly, that thing throws sparks really good. Sick. And it's actually put a nice little burn patina on the blade there. That's pretty neat. Awesome. Let's move on. We are going to do some minor chopping. I have no idea what kind of wood this is. I do not have my book to tell me what kind of wood it is. So, anyways, we're just going to chop it into a couple different pieces. Let's go. Again, pretty simple. This wood's pretty dead, so nothing to complain about there. Awesome. Sweet, let's make a couple feather sticks and check out the edge on the blade. Okie dokie. I'm gonna try to make a feather stick. We have a huge knot here at the end. Let's see if we can actually chop that off. I'm curious to see what this does to this Scandi grind. I've heard it's a 0-degree Scandi grind, but I could be mistook on that. Get those knots out of here. See if we can do some finer work. got the potential. It definitely wants to bite into that wood. I just say the thickness on that, it just prevents it from doing some of the more finesse stuff. I'm definitely having to put quite a bit of pressure. Let's go down and see if I leverage it against the ground, if it's easier to do. Okay, folks, right here, we're gonna try to make a feather stick at least. Leverage it against the ground. This is not the best selection of wood, but we do what we can, right? So many knots in this little stick, so it's a little bit difficult, but honestly, not terrible. I just think that extra stock thickness compared to like a moor or something, it's not helping this little guy out. Feels like it wants to get caught up right about there. So I'll take a look at the edge in a second after I'm satisfied with what we get. Sick nasty. Look at that thing. Cool beans. Let us move on. All right, friends. Let's take a look at the edge on this guy. So D2, not going to hold up the best. The edge retention on this is good. Better than like a 420 high carbon, but it's not great like an S30V or an S35VN. So show you guys that edge. And just feeling along it. Noticing some minor like deformations, especially down here towards the bottom where I was banging on that thing for the, does definitely just cut my finger on that. So it is still sharp. There's some minor folds, very, very minor. So let's break out the work sharpener and put a quick edge on this. Okay, folks, gonna put a quick edge back on this, just like a basic, I think this is like a $15 work sharp field sharpener. Or not their field sharpener, but it's like the more basic one. Carry this with me typically most places. Sick. Okie dokie. Let's see what we've got on here. Oh yeah, that's way better. Wish I had some paper, we could do the paper test. But yeah, quick, easy peasy, couple back and forths on the work sharp here, and we are back to where we need to be. I'm curious. I have a torture test on my channel of beating the absolute brakes off of a Mora companion. So I'm just gonna like drop this thing in the dirt. I'm 5'7", so we're gonna drop it right about 6 feet. And it landed in the... All right, folks, so there we are. Let's drop it again. I'm just seeing if we can destroy this blade a little bit. For 25 bucks, I'm curious how it's gonna hold up. There we go. Don't try this at home, folks. I'm curious. Seeing if we can rough up that edge a little bit. Now let's try to like make a little hole for, cool. I'm gonna try to make a little hole. Say I'm out in the Mojave again and I need to make a little place to put my tent pegs. Here we go. Or dig a latrine, which if you've ever had to do is not fun. Oh man, we're into a rock there. Rip that edge. Let's take a look at how she's doing. All right, folks, get some of the dirt off that blade and see how this thing is doing. Honestly, it held up pretty good with some of that abuse. I'd say most of the damage is right here, right around where the belly comes out of the blade. Honestly, held up decently. We're gonna put another edge on that real quick. But yeah, I'm just curious because I mean, the more you can literally destroy that thing, do everything except taking the tang out of the handle, and it will be able to be resharpened and fixed. So I'm curious if something with an honestly should be a stronger construction beam, full tang can handle similar style abuse. Now obviously I'm not going to put it through the same rigor as that Mora test, but you know, close enough. Might be getting there. Sick, nasty, cool, sick. So we have got it back to where it's usable. Let's try it on some cardboard real quick. Ooh, are we having issues already? Should try piercing. Yeah. It's also spit and rain out here, so cardboard might be damp if I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, definitely not nearly as sharp as it was, but overall, I mean, it held up. It didn't like have a catastrophic failure. So one last thing I will say is they say that this thing has a Rockwell, it's Rockwell between 58 and 63. Now that is absolutely crazy. That is way too big of a variation. Most people say like if a D2 or a 420 high carbon blade is like 58 to 60. 58 to 63, that goes all the way from like a 1066 high carbon stainless steel all the way to like your S30 VNs, or S30Vs rather. So I don't know what the heck they're doing with this. I mean, D2 is probably going to be in the softer neck of the woods, so like 58 to 60 max. But who knows? We'll take a look. Anyways, final thoughts. What do I think? Honestly, I would honestly pick a Mora over this simply due to the fact that I'm not a big fan of buying knives that I might be depending my life on in a survival situation to the Chinese. Just personal preferences. This is what you want to carry, go for it. Not a fan of the sheath. I do like that it's over there, but I do like they at least attempted a leather sheath, but it's faux. That might actually add to the weather resistance, but I don't know. We'll have to see in the long run. I definitely will carry this a little bit now that I have it and just see how it holds up. I am a fan of the micarta handle scales. No real hot spots. Holding up pretty good. That blade, surprisingly, we were able to put a decent edge back on that, so that's pretty good. I am a fan of the full tank construction. If you wanted like a knife that's going to be more of a chopper, let's say, to do like even minor woodworking, something like in between your Mora, like small bushcraft style knife and like a big chopper, you might want to go for this. I think it's like a 5-inch blade almost, so not too bad. 6 inches, so you're not going to do anything crazy, maybe stuff like the size of your thumb. But yeah, overall, if it's going to be between this and a Mora, go with the Mora. If you just want something different for like the $25 mark, I think their wood handled one goes for 20 bucks too, so at that point, just go with a Mora. But honestly, I mean, if this is something you want, go for it. I am a fan of how much it throws sparks with the ferro rod, so that's a plus in the book for that. But overall, I'd say probably give this like a 7 out of 10. I'd definitely carry it if I had to, but if it was between this and a Mora, I'd probably go with a Mora. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and would you carry something like this? If not, why? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you people next time.